Yo, what's up? What's up? It's the Hungry Millennial back again with yet another Proactive Pragmatism. On today's Proactive Pragmatism, I'd like to talk to you guys about interest versus productivity. So, what I'm finding is there's a huge trend, especially with COVID-19 going on, is you have a lot of people who are interested in a lot of things. They're very passionate about these things. I've also fallen into this boat as well. But at the same time, their interest is fogged by the thought process of grandeur, of how beautiful it's going to be, or how much money they could potentially make, versus the side of productivity that's going to take for them to reach the highest heights of said realm, right? So right now it's really trending people, starting online businesses. And some of my friends, they like to they do lashes, they do beauty products, they do their mechanics. I know of a really good mechanic who he is very interested in making a lot of money, but it's not his most productive thing because he has a lot of interests around other things that are kind of deterrents. And deterrence can move us away from the process of growth inside of whatever our passion is. And so when you have your mindset on a bunch of things, it's really hard to narrow down what you're really successful at and what you can really utilize in the moment while you're young. So I've had to recently reset expectations. So I want to, make good money, and I have the leadership skills to be in management and upper level management. But at the same time, I'm very passionate about car detailing. It's what I love to do, and I want to do it for myself as a business. However, that business takes a lot of grooming. And currently right now, I'm looking for job opportunities in a lot of different areas to get the pay that I feel like I'm worth, to capitalize on the past 10 years of experience that I've had. And so I've kind of been at a crossroad. I'm like, okay, do I try to invest in my own business, get the truck and the van and the vehicle set up now, and then get a bunch of customers in the area that I'm in when I could be called up with the military, or I could land a job in another city entirely. And so I've had to make the decision to forego my passion, my interest for productivity financially, so I can pay off student loan debt, be debt free, and be a better provider for my daughter. And so that's a very hard thing for people to come to realize, because you measure, hey, this is fun, this is awesome. Like right now, a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't see the latter side of entrepreneurship. They don't see the struggles. They don't see the going bankrupt. They don't see the massive amount of debt that you build up trying to pursue setting up a business and becoming a business owner. And that's where a lot of people get trapped in the cycle of, hey, I want to stunt for social media because I own a business, but on the back end, they're starving, barely making bills, and barely being able to pay bills. I went through this. I remember when I decided that I was going to leave my full-time job as a general manager. At that time, I was working 80 hours a week. The organization was going through reconstruction. And my store, because it brought in one of the lesser amounts in the market, was the last one typically to receive the help that it needed for me to hire the managers that I needed to move the store forward. Yes, I sunk so much into that store that we had changed the culture. We had gotten our maximum value out of our employees. Like, it got to the point where I had too many people wanting to work at my store because we had raised the standards so high, and I also invested in the individuals, so they were just as passionate about getting the bread out on time, about making the sandwiches and the staple that was set for the organization, and about, hey, this store should be clean, because I helped them take investment, and I helped them get to the point where they were invested in the outcome of the store because they wanted to succeed, and it was through inspiration versus manipulation. That's a different podcast in itself. However, going from that to, hey, I want to run my own business as an Uber driver. So I spent a year in Chicago as an Uber driver, living out of my car, taking showers at Planet Fitness. It was the ultimate grind, and I'm grateful for all the opportunities and all the things that I learned there. But I also thought, hey, I love detailing. Let me do this out of my trunk. But in the process, I did not capitalize on the fact, or I did not notice would probably be the better word. I did not notice the fact that I was going into debt while trying to detail cars in a way that wasn't efficient. So I was giving away that productivity because by buying all this equipment and storing it in my trunk, but I didn't have a place to live. But it also taught me that there's a different way to do that. So, foregoing that interest to build the money so you can be financially free when you decide to invest in a business or start a business that could possibly yield you extra income is good. A lot of people follow Gary Vee, and Gary Vee is amazing. I love Gary Vee. But however, a lot of people, they get all passionate, they get riled up, they listen to these motivational speakers, yet they don't have a source of income. Yet they haven't put in the years to learn the craft. Yet they haven't honed down and made the connections that they need to be successful in the industry. Because I used to think that, okay, well, if I grind hard and I put in the work, that's going to make it. But it's also about the connections that you make along the way with the clientele, the customers, the community, right? You want to be welcome in a community that you're going to start a business in. And that's going to help you be successful beyond your years because you're playing the long game here. When you go into entrepreneurship, when you go into business, you want to make sure that you are thinking 5, 10, 20, 30 years out, right? If you have to reset and you say you can't put 5 years into it before you make $1 million or whatever the benchmark you have, then that's more of an interest than something that's going to be productive for you in the long haul. I get it. You see on social media, people flexing, they making money. A lot of people are making money off of purely who they are because they are connected. But it took a lot of people years and years and years to make connections. It's a very low percentage of individuals who just have connections out of the gate. And I know it may seem like it, but your friends and family, a lot of times, and I found, maybe this is just for me, but a lot of them won't support your vision until you're successful. For instance, some of my troops, they shout out to Hardy. He was talking about a guy wanted him to invest in his business, and the business, he wanted a $15,000 investment. It's a business that could possibly make a lot of money, but the problem is him investing $15,000. He's gonna take on all the risk, but he's not gonna be the one that has to produce the outcome. So then the person that's taking the investment of 15 grand and trying to turn it into something else doesn't really lose anything. He said, hey, I have no problem investing 1,500 because I know you're a smart dude. But he's like, nah, that ain't enough. Well, now you're talking about business contracts. These are the kind of conversations you're going to have when your interest meets productivity. It could be college, right? For instance, you have a lot of things that you're interested in college. I ran into this as well. And those interests may not coincide with the degree and the financial resources you need to pay that degree back, right? So a lot of times you need to go for the more productive thing. Like a big mistake that I had made years ago was I didn't trust my math skills when I was in college. And so I forebode and put off a degree in industrial technology, which was going to pay dividends because I was young and I didn't have a lot of mentors. And I was trying to graduate in 3.5 years. I think I talked about this on another podcast. But instead of going 4.5 years and getting a degree in industrial technology, I ended up with a degree in communication, which I love communication. Communication is my passion. So it works out for me. However, it's one of those things where if I would have taken a step back and put productivity over interest in the meantime, it would have made me successful. So yeah, yo, this is Hungry Millennial back again with yet another proactive pragmatism, and this is me telling you maintain your interest in something, right? Work on that passion, but at the same time, make productivity the centerfold for now, so that way you can be successful in your interest later. Yo, this is Hungry Millennial. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Keep liking the podcast. Keep striving and keep grinding. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.